was going to go out this morning at 6 o'clock and head on over to Buxton and come back on the Cat and Fiddle in the opposite direction to the way I did it last time. Had a little bit of a problem at 4 o'clock this morning. To wait for a little while. By the time it got to 6 o'clock I was too knackered to think about getting out of bed, so decided I'd go a bit later. A bit later was 8:15. Stuck my head out the window. It was absolutely lashing it down. I went and checked the weather forecast and it said there's severe weather warnings. I'm not really sure what to make of them, to be fair. Had a severe weather warning for Runcorn today, and look at it now. So it rained until midday. I finished watching that 4-hour film Gettysburg, and now I've headed out. I'm not really going that far. There are some lanes I've wanted to ride for a while, this being one of them. But other than that, I'm just going to make it up as I go along. There are a couple of lanes over Chester Way that I like as well, so I'll probably go and do those as well. But last night I posted details about going to Kettlewell on the 19th of September on the Facebook group. So it's all there. However, I do know some of you don't use Facebook. Refuse to use it, which is fair comment, I suppose. So what I'll do, I'll give you details on how to find it on the description. I'll also see if I can put a link in so you can go to the web page. It's got all the details that you need there. Basically, I've booked Paul and myself in for 2 nights at Kettleworth campsite. We'll be there Friday the 18th and Saturday the 19th. The actual event itself doesn't start until 9 AM on the Saturday morning. And it starts from Rooster's Barbecue and Grill. That's in Penrith. On our way from there to the campsite at Kettlewell, or the village of Kettlewell, because you're not going to be actually having to camp if you don't want to. We'll go over the Buttertubs Pass. I've never tried this before, but I'm going to put a link across the top because I've been on the Buttertubs Pass before. So you can follow the link and go and see what it looks like. We'll be going in the opposite direction from what I filmed when I did it. If it doesn't show up across the top, it's because I couldn't figure out how to do it. But you will find a link lower down in the description for this video, so you can go and have a look at it anyway. I'm going to put all the details up on the website so you can download it. It'll be GPX files and TomTom itinerary files. I think I can put Copilot files in there as well. But I'll also put a Word document. I might convert it into a PDF actually so that everybody can get it regardless of what software they're using. It'll give all the details and GPS coordinates for all the places that I'm looking to stop. Last year when we did this, we'd stop at a particular place and I'd sort of think, we only need an hour for a cup of coffee. Problem is, people get gas in and we're there for longer. Sometimes if it's a day when we're leaving the campsite, last year we got away from the campsite really late. So there are various things that can go astray. I'll give approximate arrival times at each of the stops that we're going to have through the day, but it's really hard for me to say we'll be there at the times that I say. I did think if you get there and we're not there, you know which route we're going to be taking, and if you head in the opposite direction along that route, you'll see us at some point. You'll either find us at a previous stop, or you'll see us pass you on our way to the stop you've just been to meet up with us. Just turn around and follow us. We are going to be stopping at that place. You'll no doubt catch up easily with us before we're due to set off again. And that way you don't need to miss us. But I will give full details of the roads that we'll be using, and we'll stick to those roads. But the reason I'm saying we'll be able to stick to those roads is because before I actually put any details up, Paul and myself will go and ride the route itself. Not the whole thing. Some of it we've already done ourselves, so we already know it's okay, but there are a couple of places I'm not 100% sure of. And when I post the details, I want them to be fixed, so we won't change them. It means you'll know where we're going to be travelling along, and if you do find we're not at a meeting point, you can go along the road in the opposite direction to what we would be doing and probably meet up with us somewhere along. It's probably the easiest. It saves you standing there pacing back and forth wondering where we are. It wouldn't be fair, really. The private field at Kettlewell, that's already been booked up, so there's no way that I can do that. If this campsite turns out to be okay and everybody kind of likes the area, I might look at doing it again next year, but try and get more people interested in the private field and book it. It's a little bit out of the village. Probably have fewer rules to obey, sort of thing, like don't make a noise. But other than that, we should be able to do a little bit more of what we like in terms of sitting around and cooking and chatting and having a few beers. So it might not be a bad idea. There are 9 people who've agreed to go so far. Some of them I know have actually booked their place on the campsite. I think one person I know of has booked a hotel somewhere in the village. You can do the same if you want to. There's a link to the campsite. I'll put it on the description for this video as well. And you can book from there. What you will find if you try to do it for a Friday or a Saturday night is it'll insist you book 2 nights. It's up to you. If you book the 18th and the 19th, you'll be there for the same 2 nights we are. If you booked for the 19th and the 20th, you'd have a peaceful night on the 20th when Paul and myself aren't there annoying you. You don't have to book the campsite. You can also go and book hotels. There's everything in the village, from youth hostels through B&Bs. I think there's a hotel there, and I think there's a whole house with about 6 or 7 rooms in it. So it's pretty much up to yourselves what you want to do. And of course you don't actually have to stay overnight if you don't want to. You can do one of the days with us, so you might want to turn up on the Saturday, do the Saturday's riding and then go home. It's fine. You might not be able to do the Saturday, you might want to come along on the Sunday, meet us at the campsite, do Sunday's ride and then go home. It's fine. It's pretty much all up to yourselves. If you decide what it is that you want to do, and then either book a place or meet up at whatever our meeting points are, that's fine. That's all right with us. I am taking a small risk with one of my cameras today. I bought, it's on one of my previous videos, that I bought a Dragon Touch Vision 4 light, I think is what it's called. And I put it on the front without its waterproof case. Kind of hoping it doesn't rain. It only costs 32 quid, but I don't want to drown it for pretty much only the second time I take it out. The minute I'm just heading out of Frodsham. Frodsham's kind of, it's a 30-mile-an-hour ride all the way through the town. It's not particularly interesting at all. And it's 40 mile an hour for most of the way to Helsby after that. So I'm just going to ride over to Helsby. There's once on the other side of the town there's a left turn onto I think it's the A56. It's a stretch of road I kind of quite like, so I'll go along there. And then there's another stretch of road turns and heads off through Stafford, or Little Stafford or something like that. Check it on the map and get the name right, but then I'll turn around and head for home. So what I'll probably do is just keep an eye on the weather. If it's dry over the weekend, I'll head out over to Buxton. I've still got a week off work. So I'll probably look at maybe getting another couple of rides in before I go back to work. Paul and myself have still got our Scotland trip that was sort of in the forefront of our mind, so to speak. And I know Scotland is opening up hotels and other sort of holiday accommodation. And that's on the 15th of July. So I'm going to see if we can do something around about then. It's going to be a little bit difficult to fit in. I think I've used up most of my holidays now. I have a sneaking suspicion Paul's used up all of his. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. As for myself, bearing in mind we've had an awful large part of riding town has been effectively denied. I had a little chat with my missus. I do shift pattern, one of my weeks is earlies. I have a day off in the middle of the week. So I was thinking I might jump on my bike about 6 o'clock at night, just head off for a campsite somewhere, park up, and the next morning have a ride around that area, and then head for home, try and get home sort of midday-ish on my day off. So if that works out, I should be able to do that once a fortnight. And then of course I get a full weekend off every other week. So I'll try and fit something in with Paul for those. I have a week where I have to work a Saturday, and I only get the Sunday off. Don't really like going anywhere on that Sunday. I've done it, and I will do it again. But it always feels as though getting on my bike and doing a couple of 100 miles, although I enjoy it, is still tiring. And I don't feel as though I've had a day off work. But I'll do them, if I can. This isn't the most interesting road in the world. So the ride we're sort of trying to do, or we're going to do this weekend with Paul, we were going to go up to Yorkshire Moors, Yorkshire Dales, around Hawes area. There's a couple of roads I just want to check out. One of them runs from Hawes down to Kettlewell. Somebody suggested we sort of ride that road, so I'll go and have a look at it. I just want to make sure that it's suitable. It wouldn't be the first time I've looked on Google Maps and seen what looks like a single track road but looks okay, and turned up and basically it's like being off-road. So we'll go and ride them, check it to make sure it's okay. And then there's one from Kettlewell that goes over to Kirby Stephen, I think. It goes over the moors. So I want to go and ride that one as well. I've had a look at it on Google Maps again. It's not all covered. It does look okay, but I just want to make sure that it is. If it is okay, then I can do the final sort of route that we'll take on the 2 days. So we'll check that out first. I won't do the Buttertubs Pass again. I won't be going up anywhere near Penrith. Save that for the day. The campsiting in Kettlewell have sort of said yes, they'll be open, yes, they'll be doing coronavirus and social distancing, and yes, their toilet blocks will be open and their showers will be open. Which is great. For 2 nights you definitely want those things open. I don't mind smelling for 1 night. Now, I'm going to go around in a circle here because this full circle is a road that I really like. This one actually comes down by the motorway, but I'm not actually going to get on the motorway. I go across it. Used to work down here. Almost in a whole other lifetime ago. Certainly a generation ago. It's a nice country lane, this one. Especially nice when you get it to yourself. remember the name of the place it actually goes to. It is one of the places I looked at for a wedding. Mine, of course. I'll have a look if I can see a sign on my way out. There it is. What does it say? No, it's not. I'll have to look it up in a map. And I like this stretch of road as well. This is the A56. When I was a lad, probably about 18, 19, I had a Honda 550 F1 and I came along and took this bend and nearly got it completely utterly wrong. I don't know why, because I find it really easy today and any other day. But I got it horribly, horribly wrong. So I'll be talking about 43 years ago. But I reckon in those days bikes were not the same as they are now. This bike is, for example, light years ahead of the 550 F1 in terms of how this handles. Got proper shaped tyres on it, for example, whereas the 550 had borderline square tyres, so not really all that grippy, and they weren't grippy. And the brakes were appalling in the wet. These are just as good in the wet as they are in the dry. So a lot of things about modern bikes that they're just completely and utterly outclass the bikes from the 70s. So maybe in part it was inexperience, maybe in part it was just the bike wouldn't have done it. I would imagine it's probably the former more than the latter, to be fair. When I get to the bottom of this, I'll do a left turn away from Helsby. I don't want to go through Helsby again, and I don't really want to do any lanes. I've been out about an hour now, so it's long enough, I suppose, for now. So I'll get on the motorway. Once I'm on the motorway, I'll shut up. So if you want to go to Kettlewell in September, remember it's the 19th. Paul and myself will be there on the 18th and the 19th. You don't need stay overnight if you don't want to. You can just do one of the 2 days, which will be Saturday the 19th and Sunday the 20th. If you don't want to camp, there are a combination or variation in accommodation that's already there. So you got B&B, youth hostels, hotels, and a whole house. Just see what you can find. They have got a pub called the King's Head. I haven't checked if it's going to be open, but I would imagine it will be by September. But I wouldn't mind meeting in there, anybody that's there on the 18th and definitely on the 19th. Yeah, it's not compulsory. You might not like going into pubs, you might not like drinking, you might not want to pay pub prices for your food. Get hold of that. Nothing wrong with you staying on the campsite or in your hotel if you want to, no problem at all. Okay, so I'm in